So the first one is why. So why is broken into two main parts, which is the need, why is the project needed, and also then the benefits. So what are the benefits that are going to be coming out? So the first part of why is project need. Now, project need is, as we've talked about before, your project must be addressing a problem or an opportunity. So explain what the problem is. Talk about what the current situation is, so it's clear what is going on at the moment, what the problem or opportunity is, and how your project is going to address that. You must assume that your assessor does not know your company, your organisation. They don't know your situation. So you've got to explain what it is at the moment and what the problem is at the moment. So in terms of the example we were talking about of a group of small producers who produce this amazing honey, vegetables, fruit, whatever it is that they produce, but they are struggling to expand their customers because they can only service their local area. What we're talking about here is demonstrating the need for that, demonstrating that there is a problem. Now, one of the ways that you could demonstrate that there's a problem is by attaching letters from the specific small producers which confirm this is an issue, we've tried, it's too expensive to transport the product further, marketing costs would be too much, whatever the problem is, that they've identified that in their letter. Another way of doing that would be something from the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, stating that there's a problem. Or there could be some statistics or publications, perhaps written by your Regional Development Commission or Regional Development Australia, that talks about this being an issue in your region. Gather all of that information and use that to demonstrate the need for your project. If you have more than one aspect to your project, you've got to make sure you demonstrate need for all of those aspects. So for the example where you are in WA and you're producing this fabulous product that everybody loves and you've identified a gap in the market over east and you want to expand over there. So if we take that example, the way that you've decided, you've addressed it and gone, okay, the way I'm going to meet this demand is I need a specific piece of equipment which will improve my efficiency so I can actually make more product. But I also need either a processing line or perhaps a storage shed to store the product in the meantime. So there's more than one aspect to my project. You need to demonstrate the need for both of those. So you need to look at the particular piece of equipment. So why is that needed? What are you doing at the moment? Explain the current situation. This is what we use, this is how we produce it, this is how many we can produce in a day. This piece of equipment, however, with that we could produce this many more pieces of this product in a day. This is what this equipment will do for us and what it will enable us to do. Then talk about the storage shed. So why do you need extra storage capacity? What is your current storage capacity? What does your storage capacity need to be and why will that help you? So cover each aspect of the project. With addressing this question, sometimes there is not a specific question about this in the grant application. So it won't necessarily say, please explain the need for your project or your project demand. What it might say is, describe your project or something along those lines. And that's where you can address this question. But you do need to answer this question because if there is no need for your project, then you're not going to get the money. In the RED grants, for example, there is a section where you're asked to provide detailed project information. This is where you would provide it. You would talk about the need for your project. It is part of the detailed project information, explaining what the current situation is and what the situation will be once you've done the project. The next part of why is the benefits, referred to as outcomes in the RED grants application. So the outcomes of the benefits are what comes out of doing your project, the benefits that result. They must be aligned to the objectives of that particular grant, in this case the RED grant. You can have benefits that aren't strongly aligned. So if we talk about the cooperative example, for example, what that may result in is some benefits to the people involved in the cooperative from a mental health perspective, because you're all getting together and having community connection. So it might also result in some mental health benefits. But that is not the key benefits of the project, and it's certainly not the key alignment to this grant. This grant is about economic development, so you've got to make sure your benefits strongly align to this project and its objectives. Do mention all project benefits though. Do mention that it will have this benefit, because it is one other reason why government may want to fund this project. It is also a good benefit. It's just not the most focused benefit that you want to talk about. Now, with your all of your outcomes and your benefits, you should always make them SMART benefits or SMART outcomes. Now, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-related. Now, the RED grant application form is actually really helpful in this way, and I know some of you won't think that that is the case, because there's a table in there where it specifically sets out each of those aspects. So it asks you to address against the grant objective, so making it relevant, so it'll say sustainable jobs. So against that grant objective, it will ask you for what is it you're going to do. You're going to increase FTE, you're going to increase jobs, or manufacturing jobs, or whatever type of job you're going to increase. Then it asks you when this is going to happen by, which is obviously the time-related part of it, and it asks you for a target. So it asks you for a target and how you're going to measure it, which is obviously the measurable part of it. So it wants you to expand on it. So a SMART outcome means that it's very clear to the assessor exactly what it is you're hoping to achieve from doing the project, and it makes it much easier for the assessor to assess and do their job. So, for example, if we're talking about this cooperative, we are not just going to bring money into the region by establishing a cooperative. That's not the outcome. The outcome is not regional development by establishing a cooperative. That's too vague. We need to be specific. So let's talk about, right, let's estimate how much money the project is going to bring in. So say we have 10 small producers, and as a whole, these 10 small producers are earning around about $1 million in revenue per year. So at the moment, they've got $1 million coming in. The target of this project, by creating a cooperative, expanding on the customers that we can get to, the target is to, say, increase their revenue by 30%. Now, we've come up with this target by speaking to the people within the cooperative, asking them what a reasonable and achievable target might be. What might they be hoping to achieve in terms of number of customers? So we've come up with an achievable target. We've said we're going to increase by about 30%. Now, that would obviously bring in an extra $300,000 per year. So that's bringing $300,000 into the economy, into that industry per year, and we've got a figure. Now then you can, from that, you can work out how many new jobs that might create. So obviously not all of the $300,000 revenue is going to be spent on jobs, but you could assume that around about 2 to 3 new full-time jobs would be created with $300,000 coming into the economy, coming into the industry. So then you've got your jobs figure, you've got your jobs target that you can try to achieve. So that is what a SMART objective is. A SMART outcome is something that is smart, measurable, achievable, it's relevant, and it's time related. So that's how we like to do our benefits.